We've been fighting a long time, and we have all lost so very much, so many loved ones gone. But you are not alone. There are pockets of resistance all around the planet. We are at the brink. You have no idea how important you are. If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Ave Maria Stella, Dei Mater Alma, atque semper Virgo, Felix te porta.
Welcome everybody to another edition of How the Faith Came to the States, this time on Nevada. And this one will probably be kind of brief. There's not much on here. Look at this from the Catholic Encyclopedia. The first European to visit what is now the state of Nevada was, in all probability, the Franciscan friar Francisco Garces. Father Garces started from Sonora in northern Mexico with Colonel Anza from California in 1775. In this famous journey, he stopped at the junction of the Gila and Colorado rivers in order to explore the surrounding country and establish a mission. No settlements were made or a mission founded, but from the account of his journey as given by Father Pedro Font, who accompanied Garces and wrote a fairly complete history of their travels, it seems practically certain that they visited Nevada, which was then, and in fact until 1850-1860, a nameless desert. The next to visit Nevada were also Franciscan missionaries. These were Father Dominguez and Father Sylvester Velez de Escalante, who on their journey to Monterey, California, turned to the east, crossed the Colorado River at the 37th degree parallel, crossed the extreme southern part of what is now Nevada, and proceeded to explore Utah. These friars also merely explored these regions, and no settlements were made nor missions established. After these visits of the Franciscans, it is very probable that the military expeditions from New Mexico from time to time reached the Colorado River near Nevada, but we have no record of any expedition having actually crossed over into the territory in question. The first Mass celebrated in the territory that was to become Nevada was on the Colorado River in 1776 near the present-day Lawland. It was offered by the explorer Father Garces of Mexico. In 1776, Father Dominguez and Father Escalante came from New Mexico, crossed the Virgin River, and made the trip to present-day Utah. Before the conquest of this area by the United States, the territory was under the ecclesiastical jurisdiction of Mexico. The territory was part of the Diocese of Sonora until 1840, when it was placed under the jurisdiction of Bishop Garcia Diego E. Moreno, the first bishop of California. Shortly thereafter, it became part of the Diocese of Monterey, California, until the Archdiocese of San Francisco was established in 1853. In 1860, the area north of the 39th parallel and west of the boundary of Utah was placed under the Vicariate Apostolic of Marysville, with the other territories still under the Archdiocese of San Francisco. In 1886, the Apostolic Vicariate of Salt Lake City was established and embraced what was to become the Diocese of Las Vegas. The first vicar was Father Lawrence Scanlon. He founded the parish of Pioche and was pioneer priest and bishop for most of the southern and eastern Nevada, including White Pine, Nye, Lincoln, and later Clark counties in the Diocese of Salt Lake City. Father Lawrence Scanlon was born September 28, 1843, in Ireland to Patrick and Catherine Scanlon. He studied at All Hallows College in Dublin and was ordained to the priesthood on 28 June 1868. He departed for the United States the following July, later arriving in the Archdiocese of San Francisco in California in November. He then served as curate at St. Patrick's Church and later at St. Mary's Cathedral. In 1869, he became pastor of Pioche, Nevada. After briefly returning to California to serve in Petaluma, Father Scanlon volunteered for the Mission Utah Territory, which we'll talk about later. He arrived in Salt Lake City on August 14, 1873. The church in Salt Lake City did not have a permanent priest even though the parish covered the largest area of any parish in the United States, 84,900 square miles in Utah, and 72,667 square miles in Nevada. Of the 800 Catholics in that territory, only 90 lived in Salt Lake and Ogden areas. So Father traveled by horseback, stagecoach, or rail, developing a fairly regular circuit in which he visited the mining camps in Park City, Bingham Canyon, Mercer, Stockton, and Ophir.